Iran hails supporters of Palestine and Iran as the champions of the world, turning its latest attack into a propaganda message of global solidarity. Iranian media showcases a Shahd-type drone bearing an image of Lamine Yamal holding a Palestinian flag as it is launched toward US bases. The IRGC says its Operation Victory 2 has hit US bases across the region in a fresh wave of coordinated strikes. Tehran boasts it used a mix of ballistic missiles and armed drones to hammer what it calls American sites in the Gulf. Iran touts a salvo of solid fuel, liquid fuel, and cruise missiles, presenting the barrage as proof of its expanding strike capability. The IRGC frames the Lamine Yamal drone image as a symbol of worldwide solidarity with Palestine against US power. Iran claims US bases in the Gulf cannot escape the reach of what it calls the champions of Palestine. Tehran declares that Palestine and Iran are the real world champions, casting its regional war as a global cause. The IRGC celebrates its 24th wave of strikes as payback for the US air campaign around the Strait of Hormuz. Phase 2 of Iran's Nasr operation is now underway, and Tehran is drawing on a broad mix of weaponry at its disposal, combining different missile classes and drones to sustain pressure on US targets and complicate American defensive planning. Solid fuel, liquid fuel, and cruise missiles are all being deployed by Iran against American positions, allowing the IRGC to launch rapid response salvos, longer-range strikes, and low-flying, radar-evading attacks in a single coordinated wave. Operation Nasr is essentially a missile and drone campaign focused on US military facilities, aiming to damage command nodes, logistics hubs, aircraft shelters, and support infrastructure rather than just delivering symbolic blows. US infrastructure across the Gulf, including bases and support sites in Bahrain, Kuwait, and Qatar, is being targeted by Tehran, signaling that Iran intends to challenge Washington's entire forward footprint rather than confining its response to a single country. According to Iranian state media outlet Press TV, these strikes are framed as retaliation for sustained US attacks on Iran, with officials portraying the campaign as a measured but escalating response to American pressure. The IRGC has claimed it dealt a crushing blow to the United States by hitting radars and missile defense systems, arguing that by degrading the sensors and shields that protect US forces, it can gradually erode Washington's ability to fight and deter in the region. Bahrain reportedly intercepted and destroyed several Iranian missiles on July 21st, with local media saying the defenses were activated to protect key sites as incoming threats were detected and engaged over the kingdom. Iran, for its part, said it attacked the US-linked Sheikh Isa military base in Bahrain on the morning of July 21st, claiming its missiles and drones struck facilities used by American forces stationed there. Bahrain's defense ministry responded by warning citizens to remain cautious and avoid approaching any strange or suspicious objects, stressing that unexploded debris or remnants from intercepted missiles could pose serious risks if handled. Amid these developments, Jordan announced it would continue closely monitoring its airspace after neutralizing a recent Iranian drone attack, underscoring how regional air defenses remain on high alert. Jordan's military said it intercepted 5 drones on the morning of July 21st, according to an update carried by Al Jazeera and other outlets, adding that the interceptions caused no casualties or damage on the ground. Notably, official casualty data indicate that 427 US service members have been injured in the Iran conflict since February 28, reflecting the cumulative toll of months of missile and drone strikes on American positions. The same tracking system counts 17 US troops killed in hostile and non-hostile incidents during this period, a figure that includes those recently killed in Jordan and Iraq as the confrontation has intensified. Iran has claimed a series of coordinated strikes targeting multiple US military facilities across Jordan and Kuwait. According to the IRGC, a missile strike on the US base in Jordan's Rukban area destroyed a missile defense radar and an F-15 fighter aircraft inside its shelter. Iran also says its drones targeted 3 major US bases in Kuwait during what it calls the 19th phase of Operation Thunderbolt. At Camp Arif Jan, Tehran claims administrative buildings and direction-finding antennas were hit. At Camp Ulu Dairi, Iran says helicopter parking areas used by Apache, Chinook, and Black Hawk aircraft were targeted. Meanwhile, at Ahmed Al-Jaber Air Base, Iran claims it destroyed an early warning radar, a missile defense radar, an FPS-117 long-range radar, a Patriot air defense system, a satellite communication system, and struck barracks housing US troops. These claims have not been independently verified, and there has been no official US confirmation of the reported losses. Iran's foreign ministry issued a stern, public warning directed at President Trump as his administration discussed possible invasion options, portraying Washington's threats as provocative and unlawful. Spokesperson Ismail Baghai told state media that Kharg Island residents were prepared to resist and give U.S. troops the reception they deserve, language intended to convey civilian as well as military opposition to any landing. The timing of Tehran's warning came after public comments from President Trump about a potential operation targeting Kharg Island, linking diplomatic protest with direct rhetorical pushback.
They will soon see the consequences. I believe there are people in that very region, and they are not few, who are counting down the minutes to give these individuals, American troops, the reception they deserve. We have seen and tested their so-called readiness for diplomacy before. When the United States talks about diplomacy, it actually means dictation, intimidation, threats, and sanctions. Definitely, as long as they are in that position and seek imposing their demands on the Iranian nation, our response will be defending Iran's dignity and national sovereignty. Proposals are being put forward and conveyed to us by the mediators. We have received them, but please excuse me from going into their details. However, the main point that the diplomatic apparatus has been active and that ideas from some mediators have reached us is confirmed. We have asked them, neighboring countries, repeatedly to, in line with their obligations under international law and the principle of good neighborliness, stop America from using their territory and facilities to attack an Islamic country. What we are doing is self-defense, under the natural right to legitimate defense. As long as these crimes and military aggression against Iran continue, our armed forces will continue to respond.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest news makers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the U.S. will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry ghats.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Have you ever wondered what happens when a banking dynasty meets tides of world history, intrigue, and a dash of myth?
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HD videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.